by broadcasting, video or sound recording, photographing or filming of the proceedings. However, oral commentary will not be permitted during the meeting. Thank you. Item number 1, apologies for absences. Do we have any apologies?
We have apologies from Councillor Herder, and we also have apologies from Councillor Bobby.
Thank you. Declarations of interest. All members and tenants are reminded of the requirements to consider whether they have an interest in the matter on the agenda that needs to be disclosed, and if so, declare an interest when the committee reaches that item on the agenda. Thank you. Item number 3, minutes of the previous meeting. Are the minutes agreed? Thank you very much. Item number 4, public participation. We have one speaker and a question from Mr. Andy Walker. If you would like to come forward, please. Thank you.
Chair, in light of the changes to public speaking before you this evening, do you agree that public scrutiny should be encouraged because research shows that civic engagement helps provide good governance, and so allow without notice questions to councillors in order to maximise civic engagement?
Thank you very much. I'll look to the leader to respond to that question. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Walker. I do agree that public participation and engagement is a good thing. I'd like to encourage more of it, and we're all looking at different ways in which we can get more people involved in questions to council. But I think it should also always be in good faith. It should be with integrity. It should not be for self-promotion, and it should be for, I think, the public good. I think with questions, without notice questions, we could have them, but I think ultimately what we'd end up is with responses that would usually say, I have to get back to you, and that wouldn't be productive. And I think that right now, when you have questions that are given in advance, it means that the members of the public get an answer that is productive and gives a response that they can take away with them.
Thank you. Mr. Andy Walker, do you have something?
Yes, thank you for the detailed answer, Leader. Time and time again, you hear of children suffering terrible deaths, terrible torture. And my question to you is that we need to change the culture of child protection in the UK, and this council could take a lead. And if a neighbour or someone in the workplace thinks this council or any council isn't doing their job properly, they should be able to come to this council without notice, without notice question, and talk about their concerns about a child, the further child protection in this country. I'm going to leave this. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Will that finish your question? You don't mind. You have a question?
Oh, that's very generous of you, Leader. Thank you. My question was, because we are a child-friendly UNICEF borough, we can put some meat, as it were, on that slogan and make it clear in the Constitution that if anyone comes to this council and acts in good faith, and they think any child in this borough is picked up by social services or a councillor in this borough, then they will be able to ask a without notice question. If they see something on that day and they're concerned about that child, they should be free to speak their mind. It should be in your Constitution.
I'll let the leader to answer the question.
Thank you, Chair. So, child protection is everybody's responsibility in this borough, obviously all of the members here, and everybody's responsibility in this borough. I don't believe that anybody needs to wait for a council meeting to highlight any child protection issues. If you see a child protection issue, don't come to me as a councillor, go and speak to the police immediately. The first thing I would do is not wait to go and speak to a councillor or go to a meeting. I'd want to go and speak to the police if I'm worried about a child and the protection in the borough. Absolutely, that's the first thing we should be doing. Not worrying about whether I can ask a without prejudice question or without notice question, which, let's be perfectly frank, if it was related to a child, you wouldn't get an answer or about a specific family or a child at that meeting in any case. So the important thing is, if you are concerned about children and if that's what your question's about, then the first thing you do if you're worried about a child is to call the police and then get in touch with the council immediately. Don't wait for the end of the day. Don't wait to come to see councillors at the end of the day. Do it immediately.
Thank you.
Thank you, for, Chair, and thank you for the leader allowing me to speak on the subject.
You're welcome. Please take it. Thank you. Item number 5, constitutional changes.